Hello, 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 hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back. Welcome to the new and improved Budgeting with Confidence podcast. I am so glad that you're here today as we are going to be going over what has been going on in my life, why this pause all of a sudden happened, what's going on with the podcast, and what to expect moving forward. But, since there's been so much going on, I also don't want this episode to just be about that. So you can also expect to find 3 ways to stick to your budget so that you can become confident in your finances and live in peace instead of overwhelm. So before I burst at the seams, because I'm so excited to be back, let's dive in. If you're ready to build wealth, ensure financial security, stop overspending, and finally create a budget you can stick to, you mama are in the right place. Hi, I'm Molly, a budget coach and financial strategist who went from living paycheck to paycheck to paying off debt, saving money, and going on vacation, all by budgeting. And I help mamas just like you budget and create God-centered systems and routines so that you too can have financial freedom. Now stop pinching those pennies and let's dive in. Are you ready to learn how to budget in a way you can finally stick to it? Then listen in closely as I walk you through my new budget coaching program. This package consists of 4 calls. On calls 1 and 2, we will plan, organize, and systemize your money. On calls 3 and 4, we will review and strategize new money habits and routines and create your own personal spending challenges so that you can practice your new habits and make them second nature. So what does this mean for you exactly? It means that after you work with me, you will have a simple and stress-free way of budgeting. You will have a plan in place to reach those goals that you have only been dreaming of, right? They've only been a pipe dream. You will have financial security and financial freedom, but most importantly, you will have peace. Why? Because your money will be organized, giving you a visual of what is actually going on with your money and what you want to do with it. That means that when the time comes and you want to impulse buy, because that always happens at some point in time, you will be able to visually see what that impulse buy will affect. This allows you to make solid financial decisions, not only when planning, but most importantly, in the moment. There's no more guessing, no more relying on memory to know what's going on. You will know. So, if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start living in financial peace, then hit pause right now and send me an email to mollybennell@gmail.com. That's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com with the subject line budget coaching. And let's start the conversation about how you can move into financial peace today. But that's not all. Because this is a new program, I am offering it half off, which is the lowest rate it will ever be, to the first 3 mamas who book a budget coaching package. To learn more and to be one of the first to get the lowest rate, send an email again to mollybennell@gmail.com with the subject line budget coaching. And I look forward to seeing you in my inbox. Okay, it's time. I'm super excited if you can tell. But it is time to talk about everything that's been going on, right? All the changes, the reason why the pause came to be, why I stopped, recording for a minute. And that, I'll just dive right into that, is because I got pregnant. I'm super excited. We are expecting baby number 3 at the end of the year. And so when it comes to pregnancy, my first trimester, or I should say until 20 weeks, I am just miserable. There's no working through it. And I don't know if you listened to the last couple episodes, but you could probably hear in my voice that I just didn't feel good. I was just pushing through it. And I just didn't want to throw episodes out there and content that wasn't really I wasn't feeling it, that I wasn't giving it to you. It was half-hearted and you weren't actually getting the most out of what I was telling you, right? So I just decided I was going to hit pause and that I would start back up once I was through that and able to give you my full energy, my full attention, and no longer be miserable because I just, until I figure out what's going on with the morning sickness and then I found out other things, it's been a rough beginning of the pregnancy, right? Now I'm finally in the second trimester, I'm feeling better, and I've got so much more energy, as you can tell. So now that that's through, and that's the reason why, I paused the podcast for a couple months, or I don't remember, has it been 3 months? I don't remember the last time I recorded for you. Man, it's been a hot minute. But anyways, that is what caused that. But so much goodness came out of it. I am so grateful that God caused this to happen because I was able to look at, I may not have had the energy, to record for you, but I did have the energy to sit down and do the thinking stuff, right? To really look at and analyze what it was that I was doing for you. What goodness was coming out of it? Was it just being forced? Was it stuff I was just trying to throw at the wall, right? Was I just throwing spaghetti at the wall? Was it really helping you? Or was I just putting stuff out there to put information out there, right? And so as I sat down and looked at that, I was with God, I was counseling with him, and he had just opened my eyes to the direction that this needed to go. He showed me the stuff that was going wrong, and even just last night, he gave me even more clarity, and I am so grateful for it. So that is why we have switched the podcast title from the One Income Family to Budgeting with Confidence, because that is what I want you to get from this podcast. I want you to be able to stick to your budget and to be able to budget confidently, right? And confidence comes from sticking to your budget, and it just flows together so nicely. And I know that that is what you are looking for. You want to be able to budget in a way that you are not stressed over the money, right? I'm sure that by now you have went through so many different budgets and the same result has came up every single time, and that's you falling short. That's you not being able to stick to it. That's you giving up on the budget and just going back to just doing whatever you can do, right? Paying the bills, doing the basics, paying your needs, and then whatever's left, you do with whatever you want to, right? But there's no growth in that. There's no peace in that because you are living paycheck to paycheck, and that is not where I want you to be, right? And so that is what came from this pause, this break, right? It brought me so much clarity from God. This is now what you can expect from the podcast. You can expect to learn how to stick to your budget with confidence, hence the title, right? No more stress when it comes to money. You will know how to create financial security, how to live in financial safety. You will know how to build wealth and create financial freedom and live in peace. And you will be able to reach your goals and be able to trust your financial decisions. That, I don't know what else you would call it, is confidence in your budgeting, right? Confidence in your financial money decisions, direction, and everything that it is that you are wanting to do. That is what I want for you. That is what you are going to get from this podcast. This podcast, who it's for, has not changed. It is still for the one income families. It is still for the mamas out there who are struggling, trying to keep their family in line, right? Yes, it does open this up to more families, not just one income families, but it is going to be focused towards the one income families because that is who I am. That is my life, is one income family. That's my experience. experience. So that's who I'm going to speak to. That doesn't mean that I'm going to shut other people out. If they want to come in and learn, great, have at it. I'm excited for you, kind of thing, right? But this is still going to be focused towards you guys who have been here this whole time, and it's not going to change there. It's still going to be focused on the families so that you can live in peace instead of overwhelm. So that is not the only goodness that has came from this. If you listened, I'm sure you did, to my little spiel that I did before we got into the content of this podcast, you have heard that I am now offering budget coaching. So no more budget auditing because that was confusing. Nobody really knew what I did. I had inquiries from people that were like, well, I need help with my budget, but I'm not really sure what this does or how this helps with the budget audit. So can we just get on a call and talk? And I'm like, yes. So we are clearing that up. We are going to actually know what it is that I offer for you, right? And that is budget coaching, which essentially, straight to the point, is me walking you through setting up your budget the way that I like to budget, the way that I teach you here on this podcast. And then I coach you through sticking to it, because it's one thing if you know how to budget, right? You can set up a budget until you're blue in the face and nothing will happen. But if you know how to stick to it, if you create habits and steps and systems to put in place so that you actually stick to it and you work on your mindset, you are going to be able to follow through. And it's not going to be another piece of paper that you just throw to the side because it didn't work like all the other ones, right? This is how you're going to follow through, how you're going to stick to it, is through the budget coaching. Now, yes, my budget itself is something that you could probably plug and play and be able to stick to it a lot easier than a traditional budget, because I do not believe in a traditional budget, because in order to stick to a traditional budget, you have to be amazing at tracking. And I am not amazing at tracking, but this system allows me to still be able to stick to my budget without the major tracking. Now, that doesn't mean there's no tracking whatsoever, but it does eliminate the major pieces of it, and it allows you to build wealth and achieve your financial goals in a way that is not the traditional style, because the traditional style, like, it's just a dream that you put on a piece of paper and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. This is what I'd like to do. But then when you go out in the real world and you spend your money, you forget about the plan and you just use the money that you have because you're like, oh, I've got money in my account. Okay, let's go. That's the way it is for me anyways. And I'm sure it's the same way for you. And so that is why I love the system that I have, the budgeting system, and I want to share it with you and I want to teach you how to do it. But the best part about it is the coaching that you get to stick to that budget. And like I said, yes, this budget is probably something that you could stick to and figure it out yourself. But why do it yourself when you can have somebody walk you through the things that come up in life? When life happens and the unexpected happens, do you know what to do, right? Are you going to be confident in your decision making? Or are you going to go, I don't know what to do, freeze, run the opposite direction, get into fight, flight, or freeze mode, all those things. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to see a problem come at you and be able to problem solve how to work through it, or have your system set up in a way that gets you through that problem without the stress and the overwhelm. So that is what this new budget coaching is about. That's what it's for. If you would like to learn more or would like to be one of the first 3, because I am running a special right now, one of the first 3 to get it half off, just shoot me an email, send it to mollybennell@gmail.com, and let's talk about how we can get you out of the stress and into confidence. Okay, so those are 2 things that came out of this pause, but there has been one other big major thing that I have been working on that actually was the cause of getting the clearer vision and getting the budget coaching, because back in, I believe, February or March, somewhere in there, I started building a budget planner. So like a physical planner that you can take with you. It's a book. It's going to be beautiful. It's not just one of those ones that you see where someone throws it together and it's bound with the plastic binding. No, it's going to be a pretty one that you find at the store, right? It's going to look awesome. And so this has been a long process. I figured it would be like something short and sweet, like a 3-month thing, and it'd be built. No, this is like a year-long process. But I am so grateful for that, because by working on this budget planner, it's what stemmed and started the clearer vision of the podcast and how I was helping you, or trying to help you, with the budget audits and the coaching, and how everything was just so confusing for you. I mean, it was even confusing for me. I didn't really know what I was doing. I know what I'm doing for budgeting, but to get my message out to you, what I was doing with the podcast, what I was doing with my offer, I was like just probably as confused as you were about it. So because of the budget planner that I'm super excited about, like so excited, we got it built out. I got it built out. And I'm going to print it off and look at it and see if there's any more tweaks that need to be done to it. But after that, I am sending it to the printer to get a sample printed. So if you want to be one of the first to see what it's going to look like and to maybe get some pages to test it out and see if you like it as well, definitely join my insider group. Get on my email list so that you can see what it's going to look like and all the other information that's going to come with it, when it's going to come out. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But that's the big thing that I have been working on for you. And that is what stemmed everything that has come from this. And I am so grateful for the direction that God has sent me, the path that I've went down, the fact that it caused a pause, the fact that I've been able to still work a little bit, maybe not as much as I would have liked because I didn't have the energy, but I've still been able to work on the business for you so that I can clear it up. I can make it into something that's actually going to serve you and bring you progress and results in your financial journey versus whatever the heck I was doing before, right? It was confusing. It was not something that was really like focused on any one clear direction, and that is all going to change now. Like there's clarity, there is an offer that actually makes sense, and now there's the planner that's going to be added to it, and I'm so excited. Like once that comes, I'm going to somehow pair it with the budget coaching, and all that details will come out later, probably next year when I finally sit down to work on that, because I got a lot going on with trying to get this budget planner built in the first place. But I have so many dreams and goals, and I'm so excited. You can hear it in my voice, right? I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for what this is going to do for you, how it's going to help you, and all of the amazing results that you are going to get from it. Okay, so that is all of the updates that I have. That is everything that's been going on. So before I just keep rambling about it, because I could, that's how excited I am about it, let's jump into 3 ways that you can stick to your budget. And this is stemmed off of my new direction, right? So this is not going to be your traditional style of budgeting. This is going to share with you how to stick to your budget in a way that is actually going to be needle moving. It's going to actually move your needle forward in your journey, along your journey, instead of keeping you stuck at where you're at. So let's just dive into those. The first thing that you can do is obviously have a budget, right? I'm sure you probably thought I was going to tell you to track, but no, I'm not going to tell you to track your finances because, again, I do not believe in a traditional style budget, because in order to stick to your budget, you have to be phenomenal at tracking. You have to be phenomenal at looking at your budget, at really just looking and remembering what's going on. And that's just a lot in your brain. I don't know about you, but I don't have that much space in my brain, right? I cannot sit down and constantly be thinking, or when I'm out in the world, I'm not thinking about the goals that I have for my money. I'm not thinking about how it's going to affect my goals and the things that I want to achieve. When I'm in the moment, I'm like, I want to buy this thing. Let's buy it. I've got the money. No, that is why the budget that I believe in, the digital cash envelope system budgeting style, is the way to do it, because it eliminates that tracking to stick to your budget. Yes, there is still some tracking to be able to follow your savings goals, right? To be able to reach them. But simply to stick to your budget, that is eliminated. And that is the kind of budget that I believe you should implement as well. So the first way to stick to your budget is to have a budget that is not the traditional style budget, but one that is actually going to do the heavy lifting for you instead of you having to do the heavy lifting, because we don't have time for that. That's time consuming, it's brain consuming, and as moms, we are doing 50,000 things at one time, and our brain is constantly going all the time, and it just causes overwhelm and stress and things that are not what I want for you. We want to live in peace. We want to be confident about the things that we do, and a traditional style budget is not going to get that for you. So number one, have a budget, but a budget that's going to do the heavy lifting for you. Number two, I want you to work on your mindset. So what you believe will 100% reflect onto your budget. How you budget, the plans that you make, how hard you work for something, all stems off of your mindset. If you believe that you are poor, you're going to create a plan that is poor, right? But you are not. If you are believing that you are living paycheck to paycheck, which that is a mindset struggle instead of an actual physical budget issue, right? That's a mindset thing. You're going to stay stuck living in that. And so those are the things that I want to work on with you, is your mindset, so that you can really get out of it and get into the confidence and just use money as the tool that it's meant to be, instead of something that makes you do what it wants you to do, kind of thing. I don't want it to become an idol. I don't want it to become something that you are stressed about all the time. And all of that is mindset work. So if you want to be able to stick to your budget, you got to start shifting your beliefs. You got to work on your mindset and really create something that's going to help you with it, with your routines, right? Create a routine that helps you get out of that. But there's work that comes with it. And trust me, I'm not going to leave you alone there, but we're just doing a big overview look at the 3 ways to stick to your budget, right? So the first one, create a budget, have a budget. The second one, work on your mindset, because that is going to drive the way you create your budget. Step number 3, or way number 3, I should say, is change your habits. So I'm sure this is something that you're like, oh yeah, that's obvious. But I'm not just talking about overspending habits. It could be the way that you sit down and do your finances. It could be the way that you look at money in the first place, right? There are so many habits out there. Maybe you're not frugal and you're so tired of having to live tight that you have just gotten into the habit, and this is me, the rich living style habit, which I'm putting air quotes around that, where I want to feel like I have money, right? So I just buy things that I probably shouldn't have. If you look out in the world, the rich people, people who are rich, you wouldn't know, because they don't live a so-called rich lifestyle. They live a simple, normal lifestyle like you and I, but they have habits and systems in place that allow them to keep that money instead of spend it and waste it on things that they don't actually need or want, right? So those are the things that are going to help you stick to your budget, is creating those habits, like looking inside and figuring out, what is it that I do? What mindset struggle, what habit am I like relying on all the time? What is something that I do all the time? Take inventory. How do you spend money? What do you spend it on? And really look at what it is that you do so that you can make changes to move your needle forward instead of keeping you stuck where you're at. Because a budget is a great plan. It's a great dream, but it's only going to get you so far if you don't change your mindset and put the habits in place to achieve that. Money is a long-term game, and as humans, we want instant wins, right? We live in instant gratification, especially in the world where we are at. Like, if you lived in another part of the world, it would be a totally different culture, right? And the way you looked at money would be totally different. But where we live here in the United States, because that's where a lot of my listeners are from, we just live and thrive and like crave instant gratification. But that's not going to get you where you want to go, because money is a long-term game. That is why it's so important to grow and shift your mindset and create habits that are going to complement the changes that you are wanting. This right here, what we just talked about, is what the podcast is going to be all about. It's going to talk about how to budget in a way that's going to help you stick to your budget. No more traditional budgets, right? It's going to talk about how to rework and reframe your mindset so that you can actually follow through on your budget and create a plan that's actually going to get you where you want to go instead of keeping you where you're at. It's going to help you look and analyze where you're at with your habits and help you create new ones so that you can actually keep your money in your account instead of spending it willy-nilly on those impulse buys, because that is so easy to get into. Trust me, right now, being pregnant, I fall into that category so easily because I don't want to have to do things. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I want the money to do the heavy lifting for me instead of me having to do it, which right now we are redoing our porch, and having the money do the heavy lifting is not possible. So that means that my husband, myself, and my father-in-law are doing all of the work. But going off on that tangent, you get what I'm saying though. Like, there are times in life where you just have things going on, and the way you spend your money is going to be different. And knowing how to adjust to that and still be able to do the things that you want while knowing that these are going to happen is so important. And so that is what this podcast is all about. But the best part is that we are not going to do it by ourselves. Like, no more trying to budget on our own, no more trying to figure life out and how to do the money stuff all by ourselves. We are going to partner with God through it all. This is what we are supposed to be doing. We were never meant to do it alone. It's time to learn how to plan, organize, and strategize with God at the center of it all. And I am so excited for this part of the podcast, right? The change in it. Like, yeah, I had God in it before, but now everything is going to be tied back to God. Like, I'm going to talk about how to rely on God, how to have faith in Him, how to connect with Him in your financial decision making, in your habit changes, in your mindset shifts. Like, there's no more trying to do it alone. It's going to be partnering with God, because through God, everything is possible. But when you try to do it by yourself, everything is hard and there's no way you can get to it. I don't know if you have went through a situation like this, but I know that when I finally team up with God and I partner with Him, everything goes so much smoother. Like the decisions, the work, there's more excitement because my heart is following it as well. But when I'm trying to do something myself, and it may be something good, something that's actually going to move the needle forward, maybe in my business, maybe in my finances, maybe in my parenting. But if I try to do it by myself, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's like dragging your feet and trying to move, but you're stuck in mud. And I don't want that for you anymore. I don't like it for me. I don't want it for you. So that is why it is so important that we are going to be partnering with God through all of this. All right, so before you go, I do want to remind you to grab some budget coaching. This is where I walk you through setting up your budget and then coach you through sticking to it. So to learn more, email me at mollybennell@gmail.com. That's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. And let's get you out of the overwhelm and into confidence. Hey mama, I pray that today's episode has inspired you and grew you. If so, will you please share it with that friend who is praying for a budget breakthrough and leave a rating and review so that you can help get the podcast out to other mamas struggling with their budget. Also, get some support for yourself by joining my free Facebook group and becoming an insider where you get weekly support emails and are the first to find out when something new is on its way. You can find the links in the show notes, and I will see you right back here next Tuesday.